I bet you thought that was clickbait, didn't you? You looked at the thumbnail and thought, how could this possibly be real? But no, I loaded into a game of multiplayer Civ 3 with the modern mod, and this is what the good Lord up above has gifted upon me tonight. It is actually reverse clickbait. You will see that it gets worse. This is all jungle to the south of me. We start with 2 settlers, but there isn't anywhere to put my second city. I'm recording these as B-roll, but I had to post this one. In a couple of days, I'll put out a video about the potential for Civilization as an esport, and many people told me that Civ just has too much variance to be competitive. Well, one thing I love to do on this channel is prove you guys wrong. Hearthstone, poker, Magic the Gathering, and Civ. Variance makes competitive games better and more exciting, not worse, as long as the design of the scenario is good. Now, it's important to take stock of what you have. There's no such thing as bad land in Modern for Civ 3. Different starts are just different. You have to play them differently. So here, I've got a lot of water. And the land is all garbage, so what do I need? Harbor, offshore, and commercial dock. What don't I need? Workers. I have to choose my government now. Sometimes it's just a matter of personal preference. Sometimes it's a matter of life and death. Governments provide a range of bonuses, and you have 2 turns of anarchy to figure out what you're going to play. Check out my video explaining Modern in the description of this one, but TLDR, there are 4 governments. One of them is fascism with some cool and unique bonuses, one is republic with some cool and unique bonuses, one is democracy with some cool and unique bonuses, and one is flying settler meme communism. And the jungle is dark and scary for our second settler here. He yearns for the skies. So we're going equality. Equality gets airports that cost 2 shields and give plus 25% production. It also has by far the slowest workers, but where we're going, we're not going to need workers. We're going to airdrop, and I see the perfect location. Wines, deer, double forest with a canal that will allow a ton of playmaking potential in both directions. Airdropping settlers is an intentional design decision made in Modern. If you have awful land, it is your God-given right to just fuck off and play the game that you want to play. I wasn't kidding, by the way, when I said that we don't need any workers. I'll prove it. We're gonna join one to the city, and disband the other one so we have some shields in the box, so that we can pop rush a library. Until we get the border expand here, our land is unplayable. We just don't have the food we need to grow. And the science and happiness from the library will also be helpful. Wartime cuts our culture in half, and we don't want that before the border expand, so library works great here as an instant play. The double worker dump is not a strategy I've ever done before in my life, but unusual circumstances call for unusual strategies. I should mention, this lobby is absolutely stacked with the best players in the league. Good team play is really important for getting the win. I know that they're going to dogpile me, they always do this on island maps. So I need contact with my teammate, I need a way to escape wartime mode, you need a peace treaty for that. So, we grab a harbor in our cap, and with the out of war, I grab granary in my second city and a worker in my cap. This is like Civ 6. In Civ 6, you don't want to do workers without the policy card. It's kind of like that in Civ 3. Wartime is the policy card. You want to be doing wartime buildings and wartime units using the bonus shields, and workers you want to do when you don't have the bonus shields. So that was my thinking with the worker here, but in retrospect, it would have been better just to get the offshore platform a turn sooner. Like I said, even if it doesn't look like it, there are advantages to the start. For one, I actually cannot be landed. I can just put any unit south of my cap, including my king, and then there's physically not a tile that they can land on because my peninsula is so thin. Without an amphibious assault unit, they can't attack my capital, and they would have to land before trying to attack my king. Furthermore, the Canal City blocks scouting from the Arabs to the south. I can see what they're doing and what resources that they have, and they cannot see me. They have to play as if I have access to every resource in the game, when in reality, I have none. It's like having a 2-7 offsuit in poker. Sure, your hand sucks, but if you bet big, they have to treat you with fear and respect. I decided to go for a city to the south. You can see what the teams are in the top right. Me and China can try to 2v1 the Arabs here, so getting a forward plant on a hill for the defensive bonus is quite strong. It also gives me priority over the uranium. I can draft out of my capital, too, when I hit size 7, and I can draft a lot. You see, equality is not supposed to have the commerce to draft this much, but I did harbor, offshore, library, university, and eventually commercial dock and the Colossus Small Wonder. I can funnel that gold into happiness, and I can use that happiness to just draft forever here. Equality is just not supposed to have this many drafts. It just has too many other strengths. And I can use the drafts to keep myself safe while I do all of these buildings. Anyway, as predicted, America shows up with a frigate, and soon after that, a troop transport. Remember when I said he can't land me unless he has a unit with amphibious assault? Ha 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 ha. Oh shit, he has a marine. Well, GG guys, this was a good cast. Wait, no, I just broke his ankles and told him to sit. Sadly, now he decides to sit in my land. And with how strong the defensive bombard is in multiplayer Civ 3, there's not much I can do to deal with that yet. But remember, I can use my airports to rotate my troops around effectively. I should be okay, as long as I don't get landed by another boat. Or another boat. Or another boat. Or another boat. I was almost done chopping. Jesus Christ, guys, every single frickin' game. Well, that's just how it is. I have a reputation as the player that they need to shut down. And so often, I just need to play things really conservative, really alert, and basically carry by being a brick wall for my team. And that's a lot of what's going on here. The USSR even gets involved. They are also playing the airdrop meme government, and so they snipe the uranium that's 2 tiles away from my southern city. And Egypt is beating up on my teammate Australia. Yikes. Worse yet, China took the aluminum off the Arabs using a helicopter play, and then lost it, so the Arabs are clearly going to use that aluminum to set up a cruise missile play onto me. Only they need artillery to get rid of walls, so this should buy me a bit of time. I survived the attack by a little bit more than the skin of my teeth. Cruises are very strong in this, but they do splash damage spread out across your units. So if you don't kill your target, everything is going to heal up, and you spent your cruise missiles for nothing. Keep in mind, bonus resource distribution in Modern is normalized, and so we do have the double whale here, and that's pretty damn good for food, shields, and commerce. With the high base commerce from the coastal tiles, plus the bonuses from all my buildings, I can actually get through the tech tree quite quickly. So after my small wonder and the ship moves wonder, I grab warships. This tech will allow me to build submarines if China passes me oil, which will allow me to sink the loaded ships that are coming to me. Unless, of course, I get hit with the worst RNG imaginable. Worse yet, his troopship is now positioned on the one tile that blocks the naval trade route between me and the Chinese, so I lose my oil and the pre-build on my submarine in my capital. I keep teching though, grabbing explosives and poking around with my subs. The USSR looks weak here, so I do a double attack. I load partisans onto a transport, and end of turn, I drop his northern city. He burns his airlifts trying to hold it, and meanwhile I launch 2 cruise missiles at his uranium city. This catches him off guard, and I raze the city, stealing his artillery and denying him of that resource. Australia also manages to retake all their cities back from Egypt and America. I was disappointed by how soon they GG'd here. It was very clearly still a toss-up, but America rage quit, and by crushing with this awful land, I had just completely psychologically devastated their entire team. All they can do at this point is try to salvage what's left of their sanity. GG. So yeah, I hope this has proven my point. Badland does not exist in the modern mod for multiplayer Civ 3. In terms of game balance and diversity of play patterns, what we've accomplished in developing Modern is just off the charts insane. Once you're hooked, you're hooked. Anyway, if you've made it this far, check out the video in the description explaining Modern. Cheers guys, see you next time.